It's Monday, February 16th, and this is your daily sigh of relief. If you're an entrepreneur trying to keep up with what actually matters, this is for you. I go live every single business day at 6 p.m. Eastern, and to the very best of my abilities, I give you everything that I think matters in the entrepreneurial world across business, AI, markets, platforms, and policy, all in 15 minutes or less. And then, if we have some time, we'll hang out, we'll chit-chat. If you have questions, comments, concerns, confessions, heckles, of which I'm getting more and more recently, mostly from YouTube, interestingly. Yeah, that's what I got. All of my content is and always will be free. If you want the Daily Sigh delivered to your inbox, just go to dailysigh.ai. And without further ado, let's dive in. First story, interesting to say the absolute least. Google Workspace AI is launching the Google Workspace AI reporting feature. This is a new generative feature that automates internal reporting by summarizing metrics across docs and sheets using natural language. Y'all, this is a huge deal, especially for people like me. If you don't know, I owned the number one ranked Google Ads agency in the world, sold it in October of 2022, and this thing would have truncated the single most time costly task we had. And that's, I think, across all agencies, but I know it doesn't just apply to agencies. I imagine it applies to agencies, any operators, anybody in the financial services space. This cascades across every type of organization I can possibly imagine. This move directly targets high-cost management and operations time, potentially replacing the need for manual executive summaries. According to Google, AI is moving from content creation to operational intelligence, where the LLM becomes the primary interface for your company's data. So if you haven't played with the Google Workspace AI reporting, go check it out. Google launched an article on the blog.google.com. It's Gemini 3 Deep Think, Advancing Science, Research, and Engineering is the title of the article. And I realize that this isn't super sexy, but if you're a small business, here's the thing is data in so many ways for small businesses has been a moat. And I think that it's been a moat that's worked against us. We haven't been able to utilize it the same way that larger organizations and enterprises have been able to utilize it. And that's starting to change now with some of these tools. So go check that out. Next story comes from Morning Brew. SaaS sector crisis, memory shortages, and market skepticism. Why this matters. The big three memory producers cannot meet AI demand. Tell us something we don't know. This is leading to a rising cost for smartphones, PCs, and data center infrastructure. Everything in the technical world is about to get a whole lot more expensive, which is interesting because they just promised us that it was all going to get a lot cheaper. Like all we hear about is just massive deflationary events, which in some instances we're seeing, but along a few levels of analysis, the opposite is true as we're in this. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime space race towards building this infrastructure, which I think is going to be something analogous to like the freeway system. Once it's built, especially given Moore's law that says machine computing power doubles roughly every 18 months. I think once the infrastructure is built, building on top of the infrastructure is going to get a lot easier. And so once it's built, we have it. Investors are beginning to shed billions in big tech stocks due to skepticism over AI spending returns, which will pressure SaaS margins. If you're not familiar with the SaaS apocalypse, it's happening, y'all. SaaS companies are screwed with a capital S. And what we're going to do, or what we're going to see, what the market's going to see about that, I think has yet to be seen. The deeper pattern here, according to the Morning Brew, is the compute tax is becoming a reality. Hardware costs are rising, and investors are losing their patience. Investors are a fickle bunch, aren't they? Next story, one that I'm super excited about for all the reasons. I'm tempted, if I didn't have a non-compete, to fire up an agency. OpenAI launches ChatGPT ads for U.S. businesses. If you haven't applied, go do so. They're doing it by application only. I applied this morning. This is old news, but the launch was announced yesterday. So we knew that they were going to do it. We didn't know when. I think the fact that they're testing it as early as they are is amazing. If you're not aware, Anthropic lobbed a grenade over at OpenAI, basically telling them to pound sand, and that free's the only way to go. So we're now watching the difference between two very, very different paradigms. OpenAI embedding ads inside of ChatGPT, and Anthropic going for more of a pay-to-play model. And we're going to see which one wins out. If I, it's interesting, even as an ad guy, like I love the idea that we can put ads inside of ChatGPT, and I'm, salivating at the opportunity. And my personal preference as a consumer is Anthropic's route. I'm sick of, I'm sick of what monetization does to an application, because a monetized application, you are the product. And so it changes everything about how the product's used, how the interface is built, what the logic is behind it. And so I would prefer Anthropic's route. And yet, as I mean, gosh, if I was an investor, I'd be betting on the ad dollars, because this is the highest quality traffic that the digital world has ever produced. And that's technically true. When you see the conversion rates behind ChatGPT traffic, it's insane, to the tune of like 12 to 13x the efficacy. So OpenAI claims to be providing a competitive edge for reaching the massive free tier user base without requiring premium subscription spends. Their value proposition here is, hey, we're going to monetize you via ad traffic, but you don't have to pay for the product. Now, if you pay for it, you don't get ads. And we'll see how long that lasts. I think once they get a taste as to what the monetization potential is, their paid user base is smaller, I know, but also I think far more valuable. According to Adventure PPC, shout out to my boys over there, the search engine era is officially transitioning into the answer engine era. It's a good thing somebody owns AEO.co and started an answer engine optimization agency. Shout out to me. If you want to be a guinea pig, by the way, me and the folks over at Smart Market are accepting 10 guinea pigs. Hit my Facebook page and you can apply the application forms there. We're only taking 10. And it's a very, very public endeavor. So you have to be willing to sign up for a public case study. Next story, also from Morning Brew. Morning Brew's killing today. Salesforce Agent Force hits $540 million in ARR. Salesforce is dying on the vine, and at the same time, their agentic AI pilot project is actually building in quite a bit in the way of revenue. So nice to see that they can replace it somewhere. I'm not a fan of Salesforce. I think it could burn to the ground and the world would be a better place. And it is interesting to see an organization that size just plummet. So, kind of cool to know that there are ways for companies to mitigate that risk and those risk factors, because they're significant, and Salesforce isn't going to be the only one that faces them. From private equity, vertical SaaS acquisition, a home services B2B platform was acquired by a PE firm. This matters because it shows a robust exit path for founders building profitable, niche, specific B2B tools. I think that's going to continue to be true. I think the niche SaaS products are still of significant value because of AI. Where AI nullifies the value of broad SaaS products, it amplifies the value of niche SaaS products, because it has a niche SaaS product has a specialized intelligence that AI thrives on. And I don't think that's just SaaS. I think that's anybody that has deep repositories of industry-specific intelligence. I think you're sitting on a gold mine, and I'd move to monetize that before your competitors do. Let's see what other stories we have. From Product Hunt, low-code automation launch, a new platform targets SMB operations with drag-and-drop cross-app workflows. This matters because it could replace fragmented tool stacks, saving both subscription fees and IT overhead. Thank you for describing vibe coding Product Hunt. Nobody cares. Subscription model fatigue from market research. We already know. Everybody knows. Everybody's killing subscriptions as fast as they can. If you're in the subscription business, find a value proposition. I think that means and, by the way. It doesn't mean change. So if you're SaaS, it's SaaS and community, SaaS and product, SaaS and service, SaaS and something. Let's see. Reuters has some ad hoc stuff that nobody cares about. India hosts the global AI. I guess that's more or less important. From Al Jazeera, India hosts AI Impact Summit, drawing global leaders. The presence of tech CEOs like Sam Altman and Sundar Pichai signals a major shift in global AI governance and international business standards. India is stepping up as a major player in the AI space, incidentally, both from a development perspective and then also from a legislative perspective. Some of the most aggressive legislation is coming out of India. So if you want to, it looks like U.S. and European nations, or U.S. and European, Western nations, are we allowed to call them Western nations? Is that racist? I don't know what we're allowed to do anymore. This side of the world is following suit in some ways. So let's see who's following live. I see Chad. Hello, Chad. Thanks for being here, buddy. George, Stephen, Asif, Camilo, Doreen, Sammy, and Jolly State, Holly State. Whoever you are, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Follow me here, message me here if there's something you think that I missed. Get the Daily Sigh delivered directly to your inbox by going to dailysigh.ai. Otherwise, I go live every single day at 6 p.m. Eastern. Happy fake uh, holiday. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.